Can't wait to see what Trey Turner does as he plies his trade now with the Philadelphia Phillies, part of a big class of free agent shortstops who are back in new places. Xander Bogaerts, San Diego Padres, Carlos Correa returning to the Minnesota Twins, and Dansby Swanson now will be on the north side of Chicago playing for the Chicago Cubs. So with that being said, we thought we'd give you a snapshot of what the replacements look like. The teams that these players left behind, who now replaces them? And Dan, let's start in Los Angeles. Trey Turner no longer there. Gavin Lux figures to get the call, at least the first shot, at the shortstop position.
Yeah, well, you know, Gavin was signed as a shortstop.
Yeah.
Played all the way up through the minor leagues as a shortstop, but obviously they had Corey Seager and then they had Trey Turner, so he slid to second base. He hadn't played shortstop, though, in a number of years, so I think the question mark is going to be on his defense case. I think the Rojas acquisition was a brilliant move by the Dodgers because though he may not hit a lot, the one thing we know Rojas is going to do, he's going to pick it, and he's going to pick it very, very well. So I think it hedges the bet for Lux not to be overexposed if he struggles at all defensively at shortstop.
Yeah, Sean, I was going to say, and Dan hinted at it, they've moved him around all over the diamond. I mean, they had him in the outfield. And I think going back to a more natural position, maybe that can help him everywhere.
I was going to say that. I think the outfield experiment wasn't that great. You know, him going back to second base, being in the middle infield, he played shortstop coming up. I know as a player, for me, you know, I never played anywhere but first base, but I can only imagine if I was anywhere else, it's an uncomfortable thing. I've watched teammates go through it. So for Lux, going back to short, to be able to play there every day, I think there's a comfort zone there.
You know, I really feel like all the guys we're going to talk about, you know, believe it or not, you know, you get in fielding slumps as much as you get in hitting slumps, and fielding become a mental thing just as much as any other aspect of our game.
Right.
That they need to get off to a good start defensively to be able to get some rhythm underneath them and gain some confidence playing the position.
Well, the guy behind Sean Casey, right in the middle there, Vaughn Grissom, figures to get the first opportunity to replace Dansby Swanson, and those are some very big shoes to fill.
You know what? And I'm not 100% sure of that one. I think that's what they'd like to happen. I think they'd look at the Jeremy Pena situation a year ago in Houston and say, hey, listen, he didn't have a ton of minor league bats either. And look what he did for the Astros a year ago. We have aircraft carriers at first base and third base. We got an potential all-star at second base. We can bring this kid along. But the kid's never played at all in AAA. So I don't think we should count out Arcia. He was a premium prospect coming up with the Brewers. I thought it was a great acquisition on Alex Anthopoulos' part down in Atlanta. Kind of sneaked him through when he was on his way down. He actually has performed very well for them in shorter samples. It just doesn't seem like he can maintain it over a long period of time. But don't be shocked if he's their opening day shortstop with Grissom, if he stumbles at all in spring training, getting a chance to catch his breath a little bit in Gwinnett.
Case, if you're a veteran player on that Braves team and you have a chance to talk with Vaughn Grissom at the beginning of spring training or maybe in the offseason, what are you telling him?
Just be you. Just be. We don't need anything more. We got superstars in this team. Just go out. Take a deep breath, relax, make the routine play. If you make the flashy play, great, but make the routine plays for us. I think this kid's a good enough athlete. You don't let Dansby Swanson just walk without knowing that they feel like this guy.
You know what? And I think he's going to make the spectacular play. My concern as a GM going into the season is if he makes the routine play well enough for them to win a championship.
All right, so definitely a big question mark for the Atlanta Braves, who always have high aspirations. Now, Xander Bogaerts leaves the Boston Red Sox, goes over to the San Diego Padres, joins a loaded roster. Figured to be Trevor Story, but then his injury popped up. Dan, they seem to be this is a very dicey situation for the Red Sox right now.
Yeah, I don't believe putting Hernandez at shortstop is giving Kiki the best opportunity to be a... I think he can play it because I think he's just a great baseball player.
Yeah.
But I don't think he can play it the way they're going to need that position to be played night in, night out to win a championship or contend for one. And I don't know if it's putting him in the best position to be the best he can be for them.
Would you consider Elvis Andrews, Jose Iglesias, guys like that?
I'd go get Andrews.
Okay.
In the box, the unfortunate injury to Trevor coming this late in the season, it's a great opportunity to have Elvis Andrews, who played very well for the White Sox. I mean, he's not what he once was, but as a stopgap guy for a year, I think he'll catch the ball. I think he'll get some big hits for him. And then you can mix and match a little bit with Kike and other people, but I think they need to go get a shortstop.
I had a 3.6 WAR last year, which isn't that bad. For me, too, I agree. If you're the Boston Red Sox, we all know, Danny, you win with pitching, you win up the middle. If you get a guy like Elvis Andrus can fit in there. Kike Hernandez has only played 64 total games at shortstop in a 9-year career. So
he hasn't played there in a while.
Just to throw him over there and think, hey, go ahead and play 150 at short. No way, not at that position. I disagree. So they're going to have to sign somebody that's a veteran player that can play up the middle.
Well, the Boston Red Sox certainly have some big-time question marks in their lineup as we prepare to begin spring training. And speaking of the Red Sox, there's this tweet here. Per sources, the Red Sox remain in on Adam Duvall. At this stage of the offseason, Dan, more than likely, those big-ticket items, they're gone. But you can still find value.
This is all I shopped in. I shopped in the bargain bin at the end of spring training, and I had some really good luck in these bars. I like Adam Duvall as a player. He had a terrible year last year. He looked lost at time. But let's hark back to the year before that and the year before that. I really feel this guy is a great human being. He's going to make your clubhouse better. He's a tremendous athlete that can hit the ball out of the ballpark with some inconsistencies to his game. I think he can help a lot of teams out there.
He's also a big pull hitter. You go back and look at that 2021 year, 38 bombs, 113. That green monster will give you some extra home runs and some extra hits. Duvall will be a perfect fit out there in Fenway.
All right, so we've ended this segment talking about the Red Sox. For Red Sox fans that are watching out there, what message would you give them as we sit right now?
Yeah, I think they're in a transition phase. I know exactly what Heim's trying to do, and, I think it's a really difficult position to be in. For them to have sustained success, they need, the Mayers and the Yorks and all the good. The Cassis is going to be there right now. Devers is now signed pretty much for the rest of his career. They're going through a transition where they're trying to be competitive, but they know to be that great franchise they want to be. They've got young players that have a chance to be really good. They just got to kind of wait till they get there and not block their way when they get there. And then all of a sudden you can go out and add tremendous pieces because you have financial flexibility, and then you can go on a good, sustained, long run. It's just he's trying to take a smaller market model and apply that within a big market where there's no patience at all and the expectations are high. I feel for him right now because I know the vision he's trying to get to. But it's a absolutely hand-to-hand combat trying to get to that point in time.
Well, luckily the fan base and the market's very, very patient, Sean. So I'm sure they'll understand, right?
They're very patient in Boston. I played there. They really they like the 5-year rebuilding plans.
That's right. That's right. All right, time for a quick timeout here on MLB Tonight. You're looking at the division winners from last year, including a World Series champion. How many of these division winners from last year repeat this year? We'll discuss that when we come back.